Welcome to the Best of Raleigh. Now, if you have ever stepped into Marta's boutique and admired those exquisite shoes, chances are Dominique had everything to do with it. Today, we're sitting down with Dominique of D, Lacquaniti, the visionary brand, and that epitomizes the marriage of Italian craftsmanship and timeless elegance. From Italy's Marche region to Raleigh's fashion-forward clientele, Dominique brings a level of artistry that is as rare as it is refined. And I'm going to tell you, they are comfortable. Let's delve into the world of bespoke luxury. And I am so excited.
Hey, Gretchen, thanks for having me
to have you here. So,
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, thank you for coming in.
Welcome to the Best of Raleigh with your host and real estate expert, Gretchen Coley, owner of the Coley Group. This show is all about the people and places that make the Raleigh area so special. Here's your host, Gretchen Coley.
Now, all the way from Naples, Florida,
Yeah.
but has an Italian background, obviously. We've been sitting here chatting it up with me and my southern redneck dialect, trying to
I
speak.
love your accent, by the way.
Thank you.
I do.
Trying to speak as refined as he does. But I'm excited to have you here. So we met through Marta. Marta's been on the show before. She is an incredible connector. She has a beautiful boutique right here in North Hills where our office is, and she is a curator of everything luxury. Like literally every time I go in there, I come out with the most fabulous things. And I was introduced to you at your trunk show a few months ago when we did an event for our clients, Marta's clients, and Glow to V's clients. And I got to see you in action. And I want to talk about all of that because I'm going to tell you girls, if you like experience shopping, you have got to visit one of Dominique's trunk shows. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit because that's exactly what it is. But before we go there, I want to know a little bit about you. You have such an interesting background. Tell me about how you arrived here.
So how I started is my dad are immigrants. My parents are immigrants from Italy. So my dad is a tailor, an amazing tailor, and my uncle is a shoemaker. So I can say that fashion and shoes and accessories runs in my blood. I've been doing it since I was a kid. That's all I know. I can't fix a car, but I can design a pair of pants and shoes for you. So.
I love that, and I would take those two things over fixing a car. I don't care if I can drive as long as I look good. I can probably find a ride. And every time I'm around you, like I make all my own pants, and I'm just like,
I do. I do.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how you got into making these flawlessly beautiful shoes.
So I was making clothing for men and women. I was making a lot of clothing for women, and I kept seeing, this is a true story. So we're at a party one night, and I saw all the girls that I made clothing for take their shoes off. And I'm like, they're ruining my clothes. I'm like, what are they doing taking off their shoes? Why is it? And my wife said, because they're completely uncomfortable. I said, why? And we started talking, and my friend was with me, and we had a couple glasses of wine. He's like, all right, big shot, why don't you start designing some shoes that are comfortable? I said, you know what? I am.
I love a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no, I'm going to do it. He's like, yeah, okay. So I ended up doing it. So I ended up designing shoes and creating shoes, and I hooked up with an amazing factory in Italy, in Marche, Italy, which is actually 4 people. They're all relatives. We hand make the shoes one by one. And so when I was there, we started talking. So, okay, we start with the last. The last is actually the shape of the shoe, the shape of the foot. And then from there, once it's perfected, we start designing to make sure it's comfortable. And how do I know it's comfortable? It's because I give the shoe to 10 to 15 different women. They try it on, and they give me their feedback. And if it's not perfect, it doesn't go into production. Because shoes have to be comfortable. It's unbecoming for a woman to take off her shoes at a party. Why? Because they're uncomfortable. Not fair. Guys don't do that. We don't do that.
I know. It's really a double standard.
Yeah.
And I always think about really comfortable clothing, right? Clothing, if I'm going to wear it, it has to be super comfortable. I cannot handle anything that bothers me. But a pair of cute shoes, I will shove my feet into them, and I will
sacrifice.
And I will walk into the building, and then I will take my and so everybody can see my shoes, and then I will take my flats out of my purse and put my flats on at some point. And I even do it in this office. And you know what I will say about, I purchased 4 pairs of shoes from Dominic when I was at the trunk show because it was such a great experience. Every single pair of those shoes is to die for comfortable. Like, I have worn them on video shoots, touring houses.
That's awesome.
I
Thanks.
had a pair of flats, a pair of heels, a pair of wedges, and a pair of, I wouldn't call them wedges, but the black and white striped ones with the chunky heel.
The Irene.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I got a bunch of different pairs because I really wanted to see, like, truly, what is the difference? Because luxury isn't cheap, right?
Right.
But for a female to be able to put on a luxurious shoe that is super cute, not grandma looking, I mean super cute.
Thanks.
And you can wear it all day. There's something to be said for that. And I guess the question becomes, like, why has nobody ever thought of that? It seems so simple, right?
It seems simple. I think what ends up happening is that when designers get into designing shoes, they design a shoe and they don't care of the comfort. And it's easy just to design a shoe and just make it, because then you can pull lasts from anywhere. But creating a last that's actually comfortable takes a long time. It takes a long development. It's months. It's not a flash thing, you know. Who actually did start it, and to be honest, was Stuart Weitzman when he first started. His idea was a comfortable, beautiful shoe, and then I went sideways. So no one's really picked up from it. No one's done it since him. Really.
It's amazing. And, you know, they always say that innovation is born out of necessity.
Right.
And the fact that you created this, it created a shoe line like you have that is beautiful and comfortable at the same time. And they do feel so luxurious. I will say the styles are definitely a little ahead of, and I wouldn't call them trendy, but they are a little ahead of where the trends are, but in a way more elegant and refined.
Thanks, Gretchen.
How would you
Thank
describe them?
That's exactly it. So, you know, I have friends that are like, oh, have you seen what they're doing? Have you seen what they're doing? And I say, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't look at anybody. I don't look at any of those shoes. I don't look at magazines. I just design for me what I want to see on a woman, what shoes I want to see. And then if I find a great piece of leather that inspires me, I go, okay, we should make this. We should do that. That's how I create the shoes. You know, when I go to Marche, there's a bunch of tanneries and there's a bunch of places that have vintage leathers. I go there first. I find pieces that, you know, no one's really looking at. I'm like, hey, this is gorgeous. We should do this. And that's why the shoes are limited. That's why we only have like 20, 30 of a pair.
Right.
You know, it's because that patent leather that I found is from 1987. I can't make it again. So we use whatever we can to make that shoe. And that's what makes it beautiful.
That is amazing. And I want to just highlight a few things in that. Number one, I hate it when somebody is wearing the same pair of shoes as me. I hate it when somebody is wearing the same jacket as me. Like, they say that you know, copying is a compliment, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
When I walk in somewhere, I do not want anybody else to have the same thing, and that's really harder with shoes. And so to have something that is a collection that is so limited because of how you're producing it, it makes it so exclusive, and they feel like little pieces of art.
Oh, you're so cute.
You know,
thank you.
From the orange bottom, which is so fabulous. Like, I'm in a Naples phase right now. I'm totally into coastal design, pink, orange, green, and everything from the top of the shoe to the bottom of the shoe is exquisitely beautiful. Like, they come with this little plastic over the sole. I didn't even want to take it off because I didn't want to mess the bottoms of them up. But they're truly beautiful. So I want to touch a little bit on how you're selling your shoes, how you're getting them out to the world, because you've scaled that and changed it a little bit in order to really localize and really make your line very exclusive.
So we had a store in Naples, Florida, and I decided to close it. And for the simple reason is that I wanted to concentrate strictly on supporting our retailers, supporting the wholesale side of the business, because I want the brand to be grown. I want more people to experience it. And Naples is great. I love it. People are great. They love the shoes, but it's time to move on and grow it. And my idea was like, okay, we had some great shows. We had some great trunk shows with some people, especially with Martha's, and we can see it growing. So I'm like, okay, they're giving me a chance. I need to support them. So let's close that down. And another thing that I'm doing is no more online sales. No more online sales.
You know what that means? That means exclusivity, girls.
Yeah. Because I want our retailers to have exclusivity to the shoes. If you go online and you're like, oh, where can I get this shoe? We'll tell you where to buy it. We'll tell you, go to Martha's or go here or go there. Because I want them to have exclusivity to the shoe. Because, you know, let's go back to the big brands.
Yeah.
Okay. to give you an idea, some of the big brands make 10,000 shoes a week. We make 8,000 a year.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get to 10,000, right? We will.
Oh, you will.
You
just keep doing your trunk show thing.
Thanks.
You keep showing up.
And that's where we want to be, because we want to give exclusivity. I don't want to be everywhere. Mm-hmm. I want to give people a chance to have something that nobody else has.
I love that. And I think going back to the big brands, even when they make all those shoes, they put them in drawers in the stores, and you have to go beg, borrow, and steal to look at the different colors that they have.
Why is that?
I don't know.
That bothers me.
I know. It's such
me.
There's this whole movement from luxury like branding, right?
Yeah.
Because the bigger brands, and we won't name them, but if you can Google it, the bigger brands are being criticized for manufacturing what is to be a $30,000 purse or a $20,000 purse or a $10,000 purse or shoes, whatever, in Chinese manufacturing facilities, not in France, not in Italy, as their tags shows. And there's a movement now to quiet luxury.
Yeah.
Right?
We've been experiencing that for years. So I've been in that side of the world for a long time, for about 20 some odd years. So when they were manufacturing things offshore in Italy, the European Union standard is 10% of finalized goods, country of origin. Mm-hmm. That means they can do it anywhere else, comes in, stamp it, and they send it out. Mm-hmm. That's horrible, because that deteriorates everything that we do. And the small fabricators in Italy were fighting that for many, many years. And finally they're winning, because they're like, no, we've been doing this for 60, 70, 80 years. We should be recognized. And now it's happening. I'm happy for that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. And I don't know if many of you listening have seen this. Maybe you have. Maybe I'm the last person to catch up. But I did not realize that let's just take, I don't want to say a brand name, but let's just take the bag that everybody knows that's like $30,000 that you cannot get unless you're on the list, and they make it so exclusive. That bag, number one, I would never purchase for myself, nor would I, and no criticism to anyone who owns one. You go be you, and I'm all in, and I'm going to tell you how beautiful you are when you carry it around, and I'm going to want to touch it and put it on my arm, but I am not spending my money on something like that.
Especially now after
I know this, but they can manufacture almost every part of that bag in China. And you see the videos, the leather is on the floors of the facilities, and then they send it back to France.
Yep.
And they put in a few little stitching details, stamp it.
It's made in France.
And it's made in France. And that is such a deceptive business practice.
And we know it for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always been, no, it's made in Italy. No, it's made in Italy. That's why I'm in Italy every few months. Look, I'm there at the factory, we're there.
I like Italy.
I love Italy. Oh, yeah. You want to go to the factory?
I want to tour the factory.
So, my paper is Italian. My bags are Italian. I make sure I buy from small factories, from family-owned factories. That's important. That's how you keep that part of Italy alive. That's how you keep those businesses moving.
Well, and I love that. And Damien, who's behind the camera today, and I. The Best of Raleigh was the brainchild of, we innovated it during COVID because I was watching all of my brick and mortar friends dying because they couldn't get the word out and no one was shopping. And so I said to Damien, hey, I've got this idea. Let's go interview these businesses and let's give them some publicity. And that is how this whole thing was born. And now it's evolved. And so I love the approach of keeping things exclusive and supporting the businesses that are brick and mortars. I own a brick and mortar. I know what overhead is like. And so I love the approach that you're taking where not only are you manufacturing everything with compassion, with very high standards, but then you're showing up in these stores. And I'm going to tell you, you got to stay tuned for any time that he is in Raleigh doing a trunk show. You have to go. I'm going to tell you, you're going to walk out of there feeling like the most beautiful person on the planet in a fabulous pair of shoes. But I love that return to local.
Yeah.
It's kind of what that is.
It's important. It's very important. And I saw the same thing happening in COVID. We're all suffering. And I always believe that, the mom and pop shops, the small brick and mortars, that's the heart and soul of your town. You have to keep that going. The big retailers are suffering because, let's say, you walk in there and you're spending X amount of dollars. To them, you're just a number. But you walk into Martha's, she knows you. She knows your family, what's going on. But that's important. And you don't care if you spend $100 or $10,000.
You never really know until you get the bill. Which is great.
We have wine for a reason there.
Yes.
So
listen,
please.
but it's so much fun. And,
it is fun.
And I think that is something that is understated when it comes to buying. And you can do so much of it on the internet now. You can go on Instagram and do the live shopping and all that stuff, and that's great. But who really wants to sit in your bed, maybe you do, and buy stuff and spend a lot of money, and you never really know how great it is, what it looks like, and all of that.
No.
Whereas when you go into a store, not only are you able to make great purchases, you feel great, you're engaging, you're having a full experience.
It's all about experience. It has to be experience. And I'm guilty of buying online. I'm going to be honest with you.
I am too. I mean, you
bought
can't
something-
do it all, right?
You can't. But I did buy some things online. I'm like, okay, I like it. And then when I get it, I feel like deflated because I'm opening a cardboard box, I'm putting it on, I'm like, and I just put it back in the box and I send it back, right? I'd rather go into a small boutique or a shop and be like, hey, how are you? And buy it there and then. It makes me feel better, Plus, I know I'm supporting someone, so that's important.
I agree. I think it's hugely important. So, what is next? What's the evolution of the brand? What are you working on?
So, what we're working on, like we said, we closed the store down. The next thing that we're doing is, instead of doing weekly emails to everybody, what we're doing a monthly newsletter to all our retailers and all our clients to let them know exactly what we're doing, where I'm at, the leathers that we're buying, what we're looking to do. You get to meet everybody in the factory now, one-on-one. You get to meet Marco, Loriana, Danilo, Alida. Alida,
I would butcher all those names.
Alida, she stitches every single one of the shoes. She's a sister to Loriana. You should know that. I want people to know who we really are. That's important. So that's one of the things we're doing. And another thing is we're going strictly wholesale and straight to the retailer.
I love it.
That's it.
So where all are you set? What retailers, what states are you in right now?
So right now we're in North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia. We're in Vegas, actually.
Of course you are.
We're in Bellagio and Aria. So that's new for us. That's growing. And we're starting to move to that side. So we're not really in 100 stores. We're in 10, 15 stores right now. So, and it's starting to grow.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love the newsletter too. I think it's so great to get caught up and following on social. And we'll link everything down below, and we'll talk about where you can find Dominique and his fabulous shoes. But when it comes to fashion, let's talk a little bit, because I know everybody out there is wondering what's coming. Like, we're in this era of what is old is new again, right? And I just turned 50. I'm a 1975 baby. I am vintage as it can be. Yeah. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. But what is right now really, really in? And then we'll talk about what's coming next.
What's really, really in now, what I see for ladies' shoes, a lot of color blocking. You have that 60s feel of color blocking. We've done a bunch of boots that way. That's where I see it temporarily going. What I feel it's going to be the next big step in fashion, can I say it right now?
Yeah.
Is 1950s America nostalgia. I think it has to go that way. We've been in the late 70s. It was fun for a while. The 80s was fun. That was a flash. But it's got to go back to roots. And I think the 50s is where it's going to go.
So you think big, full skirts.
Yeah, poodle skirts, lacy, pinks, blues, oversized jackets for guys, softer silhouettes, more tapered to the waist for ladies. And for shoes, not so high heels. I think they're coming down. More comfortable. Yeah, old school.
They are more comfortable, but a heel makes your calf look so good. We got to figure out a way to make your legs look great when you're wearing a flat.
It's tough.
It's called exercise.
It's tough. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm not going to go there. I don't want to get in trouble.
Because I do love to throw a high heel on when I have a skirt.
Yeah. Heels are beautiful.
But flats, man, they're so great. And so you thinking pointed toes, round toes?
Yeah. More
embellishments.
More rounded toe, less super pointy. We're getting away from that. Less of that really high stiletto. It's more of a refined heel, a little shorter, and definitely more closed in the front.
Yeah,
so
no open-toed. Yeah,
No.
I hate showing my toes if I'm not wearing like a sandal or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird to have one or two of them poking out.
A cute peekaboo is fun,
I just have fat toes.
Women.
You know,
I hear this all the time. I got fat toes.
I got fat feet, fat toes, like all of that stuff.
Stop,
but
stop.
your shoes fit me so well. So,
Thank you.
So you're in Raleigh doing a trunk show with Marta.
Yeah.
What are you bringing? Anything new?
Yes, I do. I have some new shoes that I made. Actually, I did 5 new shoes that I'm debuting here at Marta's for everyone to see. So come in and see us, please. You'll love them.
Yes.
I promise you.
And they will linger after he is gone.
Yes, they'll be there.
But we will make sure that you guys know the next time that he has got a trunk show here.
Yeah.
And so, Dominique, you're only in a few markets.
Yes.
Why did you choose Raleigh?
Well, Raleigh came to me through a mutual friend that introduced me to Marta's. And Marta and I hit it off on the phone, and I decided to come and do a trunk show with her. And, you know, when you put yourself out there, sometimes like, I don't know if it's going to work. The moment I got to Raleigh, and this is absolutely true and from the heart, everybody was great. Love Raleigh. I went back to Naples and I told all my friends, like, Raleigh is it. Everybody has to go there. It's absolutely beautiful. The people are fantastic. The food's great. The weather's beautiful. And I loved it from the beginning. And that's why I'm always back.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I do think it's super important. The hospitality here is understated.
I love it.
And we're like moving in a different direction in our fashion. Like we don't have a ton of like the larger stores here. So very boutique-ish, especially
And
this
that's
area.
beautiful.
It's
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's such a great thing. Well, we love having you in Raleigh. So you come back
Thank you.
anytime.
Yes, please.
Where can people find you? I know you're not like selling online, but where can they find you?
They can find us. They can find us online at dlacquaniti.com.
We'll link it.
And also Instagram, Dominic Lacquaniti. You can see what we're doing, where I'm at, where we're going, right there.
And of course, Marta's in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Dominique, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. You're kidding me?
For
It's so much
being
fun.
on the show. And obviously, you can tell that Dominique and I, we love traveling, but we really love Raleigh.
Yeah,
it's one
I
of the
love Raleigh.
only markets that he's in here. And, if you've been motivated by this conversation, please go check out their shoes. I can't brag about them enough. I'm so happy that he's here. And if you are thinking about making a move in Raleigh, we want to be your expert guiders in that process. The market is tricky. It's not that easy to buy or sell in this market right now. So if you're thinking about making a move, reach out to us. We would love to help you. Now, we drop a new episode of The Best of Raleigh every Friday on Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube. And we will see you in the next Best of Raleigh.